I was like almost fired for that. But and it was because I had the conversation with my district operator, and this is how you know you have a good DO.
Mm-hmm.
The conversation was when I went into this, I said, now where we're going with sales, I can't be 100% completely responsible myself.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to generate the sales that you require.
Mm-hmm.
And just to let you, and I told him, I said, it may not fit the Applebee's image.
Right.
And he approved it either way.
Two, one. Jim, I finally learned after 29 years to take the risk and invest my money into doing something, because the whole time in your life, you're always told like the worst thing that you can do is just have your money sit there. I've been having my money sit there this whole fucking time, dude. And I've always been scared to like, it's scary to like invest your money in the shit for some reason. Cause it's always scary when you never know the outcome of something's going to happen. And you're always looking at the negative effects. You never think about the long-term game. You never think about, or I think too many people also think about how much money am I going to make from taking this risk and making this investment compared to what am I going to learn from this? Especially when you're two nobodies like us. Like when we were talking off air about a business deal that we're going to start making here, an approach to it, I want to look at it in a way like, okay, what can I learn and what can I take from this to help me succeed in the future? You know what I mean? The amount of people that actually like have a successful business their first fucking time, probably far and few in between.
Yeah, I would have to say it's, especially it's the when odd few, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Especially when you're just, like I said, two nobody dudes, you know what I mean? But I guess, I'm still am a nobody dude. I've been doing the pods for over a year now, and it's slowly been going. I've been learning more every day about it too. So I think I'm willing to take this leap now into the business world and just hope to learn something out of it. Whether I lose money at first or not, I'm not going to stress about it right now.
Well, I don't think it's, it does come down to money, but really, I think most people, like the reason why they work is because it's safe.
Yeah.
It's easier for having somebody else to take the risk, and then they're going to give me a job and I'll work 20 to 40 hours a week. And it's cool because it doesn't matter if they make money or not because I still get paid.
You always know how much money you're going to make too.
Yeah. You can guesstimate based on the hours you work or whatever, right?
It's like, oh, this is a good paying job. It pays $30 an hour. You know what I mean? I'll go with it.
Yeah.
But then you're someone else's worker though. You're making your boss more money than you're actually making yourself.
Exactly. And I was looking at it. I mean, I used to be I was a restaurant manager for years and years and years. Like, I was in the industry for over 20 years, and I'm watching the bottom line. I mean, the store that we managed here for 8 years was $3.5 million sales a year.
Yeah.
When you start looking at that, that's a lot of money, for just anybody personally to manage, and being able to manage that successfully for seven years. I mean, that's a feat, I think, keeping it running and all the moving parts in a restaurant and the trust you have to have for other people to do things. And, there's days that you get called into work and you have to work like 80-hour weeks. You're
fucking pissed off.
And you're pissed and whatever, right? But that's a job that I did for somebody else, and I was only making $65,000 a year.
Yeah.
Right.
I was making I'd be happy if I made $100 behind the bar there, making all those damn strawberry lemonades.
Yeah. So now you start looking at, well, if I can do that for somebody else, why can't I do that for me or for you or anything? You know what I mean? Right? Like taking those intangibles and taking the money that you do have and the knowledge you do have and then sharing it and trying to grow that wealth for yourself.
Yeah. So you're taking this now that you learned from the Ruby Tuesdays industry and now trying to become your own entrepreneur.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah.
Because $3.5 million, that's a lot of fucking money, dude, to handle. So you see, because you have experience with that. Me, I don't have any experience when it comes to just like handling all that money, moving shit around. Okay, we spent this much money on hamburger patties this week. I paid this much money just like through service. When I worked at Old Chicago, they were really anal about labor. over there. Like some company, like if they were about to go over, they would cut people in like the minute of the dinner rush. It's like, don't do any side work. Just transfer your tables or make them pay out and then get the fuck out of here.
See, now that is, in my opinion, that's fear running what you're doing, you know. And I'll tell you the secret with at Ruby's, we made less money, so we knew we were not going to post a profit for sale. We weren't going to record break our sales, right? So what do you do when you're given the opportunity in a restaurant industry, right? You're not going to be higher in sales this year than last year. The object is you can't make more money because the sales aren't there for you to make more money with, but you can run a smoother restaurant, a tighter of production restaurant, right? And you can have higher profit overall. So you can be more productive of a restaurant. You just won't be able to crash the sales record.
High sales doesn't always mean high profit.
No, you can have a really bad run business and have all the sales in the world and it's not going to survive.
Right, and still not make any fucking money on it.
No. Now, sales do cure a lot of like problems, right? Yeah. You know, like
at least shows that you have people buying your shit. And it shows that you got a market. It shows that you have customers.
Yeah, and if you work for a corporation, they have tiers and they have like charts and records and everything on what you can and can't spend for labor, right? But now getting into that labor part that you're talking about, right? Why they wanted people to be cut was because I'm sure that restaurant was making between $35,000 and $50,000 a week in sales.
Yeah, maybe if that even. Probably I'll say 30 to 50.
Let's say 40,000, right?
Stupid $2 pizzas.
Yeah. So when you're looking at that, the two most in the restaurant industry anyway, the two biggest costs you have are food cost and labor, right? And so that's why the managers are on people to like not throw food away, not ring up stuff so where they have to give it away for free. And then the other half of the job is managing time effectively. Now, the way we were able to break our production record and make more profit on less sales is, you have a line at the door for dinner and lunch every day. At least at our store, we did. So people are willing to wait for 45 minutes to get into your restaurant, but that's only for like 2 hours a day, maybe 3 hours total, for the dinner rush, and then maybe an hour or two for lunch, right? Well, what if you could just maximize your servers, make sure that every table in the restaurant's filled, make sure that the second a person leaves, that table better not be dirty for more than 5 seconds before somebody else gets put in there. Managing every moment so that restaurant is operating at peak capacity.
It's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah. And then that hour wait turns into 20-minute wait, and then you're able to make more sales in a condensed amount of time. And then when there is no line at the door, you make your cuts, you get people out of there, and you do what you're supposed to do. You don't sit in the office and screw around, or you don't, fuck around. You're there to make money, make your money, go elsewhere. Yep. And there's so much lost revenue in mismanagement. Business is shut down for that.
Yeah. But you've been managing also like beyond Ruby Tuesdays, because I remember you were managing at Applebees down in Florida also. And that kind of had a different approach. That Applebees was doing shitty in sales, where as Ruby Tuesdays was kind of already established, and they brought you in to just like make sure things like keep running smoothly, and you keep that well-oiled machine oiled up and trucking along. When at the Applebees, you basically invented you invented theme nights, and you invented this whole little marketing gimmick that got a bunch of people in.
Yeah, that was actually pretty fun. That almost got me fired too. Yeah, because I was young and I was ambitious.
But you were like a nobody though at the time, right? Yeah. So I think you can take what you've learned, like from being that nobody. Was that your first manager position?
No. So way back in the day, I was a kitchen manager of a little Irish pub in Brainerd, Minnesota.
Okay.
I worked
there
still
there?
What's that? It got bought out. But then I moved down to Florida and got hired at Bob Evans, and that's where I got put with a really good general manager who taught me how to run a store productively. And he got put into that store because it was a losing store. And if you're a manager, you're given 2 jobs really by your district operator, for at least in the restaurant industry. Your job is either to run the store and make sure that it continues to make money, or like you're a transitioning manager where you're known for taking a losing business and making it a winning one. And then there's a fire somewhere else. So your DO takes you out of that store, puts you into another store, and then they try to put in another manager to like not lose money again, right?
Okay.
Like that's it's fairly common in the industry to do. So I got my name in that type of industry as being a transitionary manager, being basically, imagine like Kitchen Nightmares, Gordon Ramsay, right?
You that was you. Like you were the John Taffer on Bond Rescue or the Ramsay on Kitchen Nightmares. Failing restaurants are going down. They would bring you in to help bring money and bring in sales.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Transition it, and then most of the time you fire most of the staff, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Probably.
Yeah. So anyway, so I did that successfully for a number of years with Bob Evans. Went to Applebees. Did it again in Applebee's. Then they brought us to another store, or put me, because I got so tired working for Applebee's, just being used and abused.
Yeah.
So they brought us, they asked me, what store do you want to go in? And I'm like, please give me this super slow store. And I went to this, like, it was Fleming
different
Island.
Applebee's or no?
Yeah, it was a different Applebee's, but it was organized by the same group. It was franchise.
Okay.
So we went to this little Applebee's in Fleming Island, Florida, and it was brand new. It opened up perfect. Everything went fine. But then, as all restaurants do, right? Like they start up high because everyone wants a brand new thing, and then it tanks.
Yeah.
And it got down to like $20,000 a week in sales. And the people that actually opened that store up didn't do their job because that area was so small, it couldn't support the restaurant that was there because it was an oversaturated market.
Yeah.
So they asked me to figure out a way to make money so that they weren't bleeding, because basically at 7 p.m. it was an empty store.
Yeah.
I was like, cool, let's do theme nights.
Yeah. This is an idea that just popped into your head.
Well, like there's a bar that was down the road, and they had their Thursday night, like Bargo was just packed.
Yeah.
Like the whole town was there.
Okay.
And I'm like, and then another place had like ladies' night on Tuesday nights.
Okay. Nice.
Kind of a thing. Yeah. And they were packed on Tuesday nights. So you can definitely tell in the area, people respond to like those deals, right? That's just what they did in that area. So I'm like, fuck, man, let's just have a theme night on like a Wednesday or something.
Yeah.
And I think we did it.
Was this like
Wednesdays.
a small kind of community? Like how many people were living in like the neighborhood?
Fleming Island area was, at the time, it was maybe 20,000 people in the whole area. It's a suburb of Jacksonville, like an extreme southern.
Okay. That's a good amount. Yeah. 20,000, yeah.
Pretty good. But when you start looking at it, it's like one road going through the town, and then there's like another one that kind of passes by it. They're busy, but when you have 30 restaurants in a like 1 mile square radius, that 20,000
competition, dude.
Yeah.
And especially, I say most people don't want to just go to like a generic Applebee's. You know what I mean? There's probably a lot of like maybe a really cool local restaurant or some other mom and pop shop that like started in the suburban area of Jacksonville that it's more trendier.
Yeah.
Has better food too.
Well, that's where all the customers were going. They were going to those. They went to Applebee's because it just opened up and it was brand new. It's pretty generic corporate restaurant.
It's what it is.
And then they started going back to their old mom and pop places that they went. Like the one was called Players Club and the other one was like Whitey's Fish Camp, right? So I started looking at that and going, well, let's just do a theme night. And then I even told my DO, I'm like, now this isn't exactly what Applebee's is known for.
Right. But you guys were franchise though, right? You weren't a corporate one.
You weren't corporate, but you still have to
obey corporate rules.
Yeah, within certain guidelines.
Sure.
It's looser than like a corporate Applebee's, but like they had some flexibility with it.
Yep.
But dude, we had the theme nights that we offered were, and I just said, keep posting what we're doing. We took corporate friendly photos, and it was our theme nights, we did like a Ricky Bobby night. This was when Ricky Bobby first came out, like
Talladega
Nights. Yeah. So it was $50 gift card to the best costume, and you had to dress according to that theme.
Okay.
And then we had dollar shots of like Jägermeister and tequila.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's basically like a little party.
Yeah. And then we did.
You guys did Halloween every fucking week.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
Everyone's favorite holiday every week.
You know, it was half price appetizers, and then I think we did like a beer special, like a mug of beer was something. It was like $4.
Fuck, did you say dollar Jaeger bombs?
Yeah.
God damn,
dude, you could get going there and just get smashed for cheap, you know. And that's and everybody.
But that also shows like, dude. That cheap drinks, people would go. I've learned that, dude. There's plenty of dive bars around here in Minnesota where, like, I think just the environment of the bar is shit. Hell, the staff even sucks. But they get super fucking busy because you can get wasted for $10 over there.
Yeah. You know, and let's be honest, man, like you get a cheap bottle of like rum that no one's ever, like Silver Wolf, you know what I mean? Like no one ever knows the name of. Nobody cares because it's $1.
Right.
And you're making money off that bottle.
Yeah.
You know?
A lot of money too. Because fuck, how much was the money? Like for your company, what was a bottle of Silver Wolf cost you? What, like $3? Maybe $5?
Maybe $3, yeah. Because by the time you buy the whole case, you know, the case is what? I mean, it's what, $30 a case? Was there 12 bottles in there, you know? So yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's like $10 a bottle. But you get what I'm saying, right? Like 3 times 12. Yeah. That's $30.
Yeah.
And then you get
$10. 20 shots, technically. If you don't overpour, realistically, you probably get more like 15 to 18. If you're free pouring at an Applebee's theme night, getting a shot out of each one.
Well, so you can
unless you made them jigger.
No, you don't do
jigger?
that.
You
just buy the real small shot glasses.
Oh,
yeah, if you want that.
Exactly the 1 ounce one.
Yeah, you can buy those to get away with it. Which that was the tequila. We bought the test tube ones.
Yeah,
because like those are like they look better and they're able to control the pour better.
Dude, it's funny how much just what type of glass you put a shot in matters. Like when we would be working at Williams, we'd have those actual kind of like lowball ones with the rock. You know what I mean? I is that the correct name for it? That the ones
the rocks glass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would have 2 small ones. One would be big, thicker than the other and wider. The other one would be meant for shots. But if you poured a regular shot, like a 1 ounce one, and just like those standard ones that you're talking about, those tiny ones, and you put it in there, and like they even fill it up halfway. I think what the line in this one's like 1.5 ounces, and people would bitch about it, dude.
Oh, getting those small ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it depends. Like, look, I mean, if you're going to
You want it to look full is basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and that's why the test tube shots came in handy because they were cheap. You could throw them away, and it looks like you have more in there because they're taller and thinner.
Yeah.
So people can't look at it and go, oh, well, that's just a standard little 1 ounce shot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
It's like when they look at it in a tall, thin glass, if it's filled up all the way, they look at it like, fuck. But if you put it in like a low ball that's wide and it's like, filled up this and they're like, what is this shit?
Yeah, you know? Yeah, and they get pissed about it. You know, it's funny what the perception of reality is. You know, but regardless, yeah. So we did all that, and people were coming in like dressed with napkins. You know, like the girls were like, it turned into slutfest.
Nice, dude. But hey, dude, that brings in the guys, dude, and then the guys are going to start spending money. Imagine just being to like a random group of college kids that just say, let's stop at Applebee's, get a bite to eat, and then there's girls walking around with fucking napkins covering their tits. They're like, okay, we're gonna be coming back to this Applebee's.
Yeah, and it was we did a naughty schoolgirl night. I mean, you name it, we did a lot of little.
It's so
themes.
Bizarre to hear that this is happening at an Applebee's.
Yeah, we did a beach theme, and everyone was wearing like bikinis, and you know, the dudes were coming in with, you know, I mean, no shirts and stuff. You had to have shoes on, you know, but. Yeah, it was.
But you could have a shirt off.
I mean, technically no, but no one.
Okay.
I mean, the governing agency wasn't in there at the time.
At the time.
Yeah, and let's face it, how many bars have you been to where like there's a girl with a bikini top serving you?
Yeah, not many.
They can't have that.
Yeah.
But no one's really doing anything about it, right?
Right.
You know?
Do we have a rule in Minnesota for that?
Yeah, no shirt, no shoes, no service, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, but you have to, by health code, you have to have like shirt on, and you have to have, you know, like even your legs, you're not supposed to be in shorts.
Oh, really? Damn,
yeah.
I wore shorts when I was bartending last Friday.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends. I mean, that's kind of like a lax thing. I don't think if the health inspector came in, they'd say, hey, look, yeah. You know, but I think, you know, obviously if you don't have a shirt on,
sure, you're going to get fucked over.
You know, yeah, they're going to say something about it.
So as as theme nights continue, bring us to the end of it.
Well,
and I guess the process of it, the kind of the whole journey, you know.
Yeah, they became more popular and more popular and more popular with each one. And then the success also became the death of it, because I was starting to get questions from like our district operators, not just my district operator, but like other district operators and other managers.
The sales looking fucking great for the store too.
Yeah, I mean, you know, because you're getting posted on the email. Great job, Fleming Island, for posting positive numbers. Please call this manager to find out what he's doing. The theme nights are amazing. Thanks for the pics. Yeah. We love the guests having fun. You know, I mean, those were like the kosher pics.
And you're only sending them nice pictures.
Yeah, well, you want to keep it going, right? Because if you're making sales, you're making your bonus, and you're making your bonus. You're happy, everyone's happy, etc. Right? You know, and
it's cool that they let you do that, though.
They did. Well, I mean, let's face it. When you spend a lot of money on a store like that, and then after 6 months,
it's going to shit.
It's not really going to shit. It's just not producing the sales that they expected.
Yeah.
You know, they put an investment in there. They want to make their money. So to see the sales return was a very comforting feeling for this investment company, you know, for this franchise.
They're like, this James Nichols guy is awesome.
Yeah. We did pretty good. And then the more success we had and the higher sales growth we kept pushing out there, triggered the head honcho of our little franchise
to actually check it out,
to actually stop in and check out a theme night.
Okay.
And he pulled me in the office. And
what theme night did he happen to pop in? What was the theme? Do you remember? Must have not been something very family friendly.
No. Our thieves nights definitely were not.
They never were family friendly.
They never were family friendly. Because we put
You had a bouncer and shit. I remember we were talking about this.
Yeah, at the front door, we had to put a guy, and they had to check IDs.
God, I can't even imagine.
You had to get stamped and everything.
I can't even imagine going to an Applebee's where it's like going to a club that's 21 plus at night.
Yeah, it was. Well, you could let people in. They just had to be stamped, you know, and we had the bracelets that you had to.
They had to, that allowed you to drink. You had the X's where you couldn't drink or whatever.
Yeah. What night was it? It was one of the last ones. To be honest, it's been so long ago. I don't remember.
I think I remember.
We have a dot night.
It was polka dot night.
Yeah, probably. I think that's what it was.
Well, it's just like they put polka dots all over themselves, and women were basically naked, just having dots over their nipples.
Well, now the strategy of dot night is that the customer or guest that comes in and is the most creative and has the largest amount of dots.
Okay.
Whoever can fit the most dots on them in the most creative ways wins. So you end up putting them up on a table. And then you have an official judge counting these polka dots.
Yeah.
And then over time, as they slowly reveal their clothing to get more polka dots counted, then you can kind of see the trend in where that goes.
Right.
You know, and then it has to stop at a certain point by the official judge.
And was your district man, did you know he was here, or did he like be secret shopper?
No, he just walked in. Yeah, he just walked in and we were doing our thing. Everything was fine. And he was like, shut this shit down now.
Damn.
Like he pulled me in the office. We got people out of there. I was like almost fired for that. And it was because I had the conversation with my district operator. And this is how you know you have a good DO. Mm-hmm. The conversation was when I went into this, I said, now where we're going with sales, I can't be 100% completely responsible myself.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to generate the sales that you require.
Mm-hmm.
And just to let you, and I told him, I said, it may not fit the Applebee's image.
Right.
And he approved it either way.
He did.
So
because he's known about the theme night.
Yeah. So because I had that in writing and I had the word, it may not fit the Applebee's image, I didn't get fired because he technically okayed it, but we both got our asses chewed. You know, yeah. But man, it was fun. It was a good time.
It's like at what point, like who cares if they're making money though, right? You came in there, you did your job, you turned the store around. The sales are looking good. Everyone's and you're being responsible about it. You're not serving any underage drinkers. You have a bouncer there.
Well, it's the image. You know, because you get into these big corporations and anything with branding, right? Like if you're going to brand something, you need to be known for what it is. You know, the Applebee's was the neighborhood friendly restaurant. Well, there's nothing neighborhoodly or friendly about strippers.
That's to me, that sounds even more friendly.
Maybe, yeah. Like, our neighborhood's so friendly.
Get more friendlier than that.
That is a good point. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. But
that's a shame. Do you ever wonder like what it would be like if it went the other way? Like, say if you wonder, was like, Jim, this is fucking brilliant. Like, I want to start doing this at all of our other stores. You know what I mean? Maybe start opening up like specific Applebees that are doing the late night shit, like,
or just investing in parties. A different non-name brand,
or just making a side branch, a little side branch company.
Yeah, I mean that could have happened. You know, I never would have come back to Minnesota. I'd still be in Florida at the time. You know, but I mean, I left there and went to Applebee's working up here, and Applebee's up here is corporate or it was corporate at the time.
You're a true John Taffer, dude. That's some John Taffer shit. Yeah, going to a restaurant, inventing theme night.
Yeah. That was fun. I mean, I don't want to say inventing. It was just taking the idea, because everyone has their themes, right? Like up here, there's like Bargo and there's like meat raffles and stuff, right?
I'm not into that, but a lot of places get busy. I like the bar bingo. Yeah, Bargo.
It's fun, right? But it's still a theme.
Yeah.
And as we just went with more party mode and kind of catered to the heavy core drinker after 9 p.m.,
Yeah. And people in Florida like to get after it.
They do.
From what I've heard.
I definitely found that one out, yeah. But ladies' night, like all that stuff. So those are all themes, Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I came up here and pretty much hated every moment of my existence at Applebee's, and because of how I was treated with that company, I will never, ever give them $1 of my money for the rest of my life.
Really?
Yeah. If anybody out there goes to Applebee's,
fuck them.
Well, no, just stop and look at how the people there are being treated, because it's not good. And then I went to Ruby Tuesday. And the same thing happened at Ruby. Is they put me in another position to go to failing restaurants and transition them to make more money.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the corporate restaurants seem to kind of have that vibe with how they treat people. And they may treat like with just running them into the ground. When I was at the OC over there, they did that to a lot of the managers there and a lot of the people. It's like, they had these great employees there, and they almost punish them for being a good employee by making them do even more work.
Yeah.
And just destroying every bit of sanity they have. That's why I never, and I probably never will, get into restaurant management. Because I've seen what it does to people.
Yeah, I highly recommend to never do it. I mean, if you like being abused and just being yelled at and working your entire life away and never seeing your family or friends on holidays and everything, then sure, go right into it.
Right.
But, there's more to life than that. I do have to say, though, that it did teach me a lot, because when I first got into like the management part of it, we had to do all of the calculations at the end of the night for business manually. This was at Bob Evans. I learned how to actually, because now computers do it all.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started working on it, I mean, you're taking guest counts, you're figuring this out, you're figuring out your food cost percentage, you're figuring out your labor percentage, you're doing all that information manually, right? And then at the end of the month, when you go to reconcile everything and you're doing your profit and loss reports, reading those reports, right?
Yep.
So if I'm going into a restaurant, like the first thing I would do going into a restaurant I was expected to transition, my very first day, I pulled all the profit and loss reports for the past 3 months.
And this is at Ruby Tuesdays
reports,
now.
Actually.
I want to make sure. This is at Ruby Tuesdays?
Any place
you
go to transition from a loser to a winner,
you want to see
what's going on. You pull the last 3 months of where their sales are and take a look at their profit and loss report, see how much money they're making in their EBITDA, and then you're looking at where are they spending their money. Like how much is their inventory, their food cost, how many days on hand is your inventory levels? Like what's your labor percentage? Why is your labor percent off? And you start looking at these things, right? Yeah. You highlight the irregularities and then you start investigating on your, let's say labor percent's high. Okay. Well, it'll just tell you in your P&L, your labor's high, and it'll tell you front of house or back of house. It'll kind of give you a general area, and you go, okay, we're spending an awful lot on this. Well, where is it? So, and most places don't have hot schedules. You can't just go manually look it up.
Fuck, dude, we got a schedule at Williams. Just on the piece of paper on the cardboard wall for how many years? They just got online like a year ago over there. I still can't believe that. But
maybe you can go in and look at their clock-in times and things like that. But I mean, that's a lot of digging around. The best thing to do is to just kind of sit in your store for a week and just watch how it runs.
Observe
in its natural
and not
thing.
touch anything either, huh?
Yeah, you just kind of let everybody, because everyone's afraid you're going to come in and do stuff right away. Like, no, the first 2 weeks, I read the reports, I walk around, I just monitor how things are going. And
everyone's kind of intimidated, like you're the new manager. You're kind of like testing out the waters, and people probably testing out the waters with you as well.
Yeah, and then you want to reassure people. Like that's when that's your time when you introduce yourself, you start talking to people, you get to know them, right? You really don't focus so much on the business, because at corporate businesses like that, the business takes care of itself. The name brand is what it is. People come in for that brand because it serves XYZ, you know? Smaller companies are harder to do that with. You need to be more of a going in and having a couple of days rather than a couple of weeks.
Sure.
But I like to build some relationships, see where things are at. Yeah. And then really you can get people to tell you a lot of things.
Definitely.
By just talking to them.
Dude, especially being the new guy. I feel like being the new guy in the restaurant, whether you're the manager, the server, or bartender, the other workers there, they're going to open up to you about, this person really sucks, or this person drinks too much, or so-and-so does this. Like, it's easier for them to just like vent. It's for you to vent to. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then you also can tell about the culture of a restaurant too. Yeah. Like the us versus them mentality.
Is there a wall at all? Like, I feel I've worked at restaurants where there's like a big wall between like the bartenders and servers.
Yeah.
Or like when I was working at Ruby Tuesdays when I was expoing, dude, like the servers would just shit on me, Yeah. Like if I screwed something up. Like,
and I think by stopping and looking out, asking yourself the questions, what's the culture of this place? How are these people acting?
Yeah.
What are they?
Do they get along with each other?
What's the motive of these people? And you start looking at that. I mean, almost every time when you go into transition a losing store from winning store, it starts from the top down. It's a crappy manager, a crappy management team, or you have one person put into like, a lot of times you have like these hourly employees that are not given management training, and they just get thrown into this leadership position because the manager doesn't want to work.
And especially when you get promoted within too, I think that's a big problem.
Yeah. And then now you have this person with this power that they've never had before. And of course, you have people that are in the job for two reasons: because of the power that they can tell people what to do, or because they just want to make make
Yeah. Or they just want manager experience too, like on their resume.
Yeah. You can do that as well.
There's a lot of reasons why maybe a bartender server did move up to manager, just to get that notch on the belt as them. But whenever you promote within a company, dude, there's almost like some kind of like animosity that gets generated throughout, all the other coworkers, because, Doug, him and I were just on the same level. Now he's telling me that I'm overpouring my fucking margaritas. Now he's telling me how this is how I'm making drinks now and shit.
Yeah, and I disagree with the policy of promoting from within and keeping in the same store. Now, the policy a lot of these stores have is, well, we do that. When they become a manager, then they go to a different store. But I'm like, no. When they're promoted to a team leader, right, that has the same principles and powers.
Shift supervisor.
Yeah. That's bullshit, man. No, don't call them that. Don't do anything with that. Have them help the manager and have them learn with the manager, have them put them on a management thing. But don't give them the power until they actually fully achieve that status. And then you send them to another store where they start off from blank, because that builds animosity between team members. And
it's like jealousy too, I guess.
It is. And it also instigates the person who just moved up into that position to exert their new authority.
Yeah. Which is also really dangerous. We had a manager like that at Williams, I felt like. I think this was after you left and you were only there too often, but she was promoted within. And like, if someone didn't listen to her, I mean, I always listen, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to sound any bullshit, but I know those other coworkers that it's a lot easier to butt heads with people, dude, when you promote within.
And you have to look at like, look, when you go through formalized training, or not, I won't say formalized training, but you at least go through some sort of training, leadership begins from within you. It's not an external factor of, I have power over you. You have to do this because I say so.
Yeah.
Like, people don't respond to that.
You want to lead and not be a leader.
Yeah.
And you want to set the standards high too, and make sure you keep everyone else there. And you want to talk to them and like, try not to be them in a, like, it's hard to give someone advice that's your friend, that you've been working with it, and for them not to take it personally, and for you not to deliver that advice in a condescending way.
Yeah. Exactly. Now take all of that information that you learned for doing that, and now transition it away from working for somebody else and now going out on your own and running your own business, where you're your own leader. You've learned all of these skills over the course of your life, and now you have the opportunity to, I don't want to say infect other people, but charge other people with your positivity and the things that you learned to maybe grow your own team or your own business or whatever you want to do with it, right? So it's good to like be an employee and learn from that.
Yep.
And to get those positive, and once you have that information, the only thing keeping you back is your fear from
failing.
Yeah,
really,
pretty much.
That point.
Losing money or failing or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, really honestly in life, man, like we live in probably the safest time in human history.
Yeah.
Like, let's face it, if I don't succeed in the business world, I can still go down to the food shelf and pick up food.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not going to starve to death.
Yeah.
So the concept of reality that we live in, failure is going to happen, and we need to like recognize that. But like the level of failure isn't life or death.
And I heard a good one the other day. Failure is feedback.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Failure is feedback to whatever it is that you tried doing. And you want to take that failure and kind of just learn from it and then go on to your next businesses and your next journeys in life.
I think so. And then you ask yourself in that moment, have you ever been in this moment where like you're just getting your ass kicked or whatever, right? You're just in like a horrible scenario and you're like, what on earth did I do to be put into this scenario? Yeah. And you don't know why you're there.
What did I do to deserve this?
Yeah.
The host just like triple C to you or whatever.
Yeah. Or like you're working every weekend for a year straight and you don't see your family and you're like, why am I doing this? Right.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, you find yourself in the perfect position to succeed in a losing scenario because you have already conquered that skill the previous 2 years or whatever it would be. Right.
Yeah.
Giving you the exact, it's almost like fate or the universe or whatever puts you in a moment of pain in order for you to be successful in the future and down the road.
And sees if you can handle it. Can you handle working every day without taking a fucking day off for 3 months? Like I did that when I was working at UPS and like serving and bartending tables. Legit, I think I went for like 2 or 3 months without having a single day off because I'd always be at the restaurant on weekends, you know what I mean? Saturday, Sunday. And then UPS was always Monday through Friday. And I was prideful about it. I was like, yeah, I fucking work all the time. You know what I mean? I was making shit money for the amount of hours I was working. Like you said, I never saw my friends. I never fucking saw my family. But I instead of like looking back at that time as like a negative, I now look at it as like, man, like I have that grind in me. Well, I can fucking go every day for months on end and build something and create something. Unfortunately, in the past, I was building and creating for other people though.
Yeah. And now you have the opportunity for you.
Yeah.
So you have to think about how hard you worked.
Yeah.
Now look at you're in it for yourself. How much harder
it's like, can you hack it, basically?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People who are working 3-4 fucking jobs, okay, you guys can hack it. That's awesome. But make sure one of those jobs is like, you're doing something for yourself in there. Like,
yeah. Going forward with this adventure that we're about to do, I would not be able to do it if I didn't have the experience of reading profit and loss reports and reading the reports through a business, right? Like understanding money in, money out, how a direct relationship on a decision you make affects your bottom line.
Right.
And being able to see it on paper. Now, anybody can read a spreadsheet. Like I can pull open a spreadsheet and on things coming in.
Not everyone can, dude. You're giving people too much credit.
You think so?
Yeah. There's some dumbasses out there.
I suppose, man. I suppose. But, when it comes down to basic, when you make the connection between this number and a behavior.
Yeah.
That will tell you right then and there that we won't do this behavior so that number goes positive, And I think that's the key indicator of being able to look at those reports and understand what those numbers really mean. Yes, the dollar figure is high, but if the amount of time and labor to get that is also really high,
is it worth it?
Is it worth it?
Yeah.
So there's questions you have to ask yourself about that, like what are you wanting to invest in it and where are you going with it and all that stuff. There's a lot of questions.
Is it worth the risk or the pain in the ass, really? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is the cost high and is the potential value low after you get done with it, right? Like for example, to give you kind of a better scenario, steaks at a restaurant.
Yeah.
steaks are the worst moneymaker.
Really?
Yeah, because if you think about it, you're buying a ribeye for $15 a piece and you're selling it for $23 a piece.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
When you're buying a hot dog, you're buying a pack of fucking 30 of them for like $5.
For sure.
And you're selling it for $5 a piece.
Yeah, dude, Mystic Lake figured that out, dude. Their slot dogs that they got over there, fuck, dude, they probably get hot dogs for probably 5 or 10 cents, dude. They just sell them for $1. And they're fucking good, dude.
And they and that's probably one of their best sellers.
It is,
dude. And it probably makes them a lot of cash.
I get a slot dog every time I go to Mystic. I don't know. There's just something about them. I'm there, I'm craving a slot dog. When I was there, I was at Mystic. I played bingo like a month ago, actually, with the lady during COVID, which, by the way, if anyone who likes to play bingo, now is the time to go because they're at fucking half capacity, but the payouts and the cost is still the same. So, dude,
that's actually pretty good.
No, legit. I learned that day. I was like, man, we got to start coming to bingo more often, babe.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's really what it's all about, man, is,
it's being a sponge. You know what I mean? I think so I'm 29 now, and I'm starting to look at and plan end game things in my life, and through my first job when I started working I was doing door-to-door sales for Frontier Communications, selling internet. So I sucked at it and I hated it, but it was a job, you know what I mean? I did it. And I have all these different jobs. So I'm doing door-to-door sales to UPS and restaurant shit. Now that I'm in my late 20s here, it's time to like squeeze that sponge out and take everything that I learned, you know what I mean? And then apply it to something else.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I think COVID is teaching everybody the hard way.
Yeah.
The people that aren't prepared, right? It's the people with money and resources and the people that don't have money and resources.
Yeah. And the people
that's really what it's about.
And people who can't adapt either.
Exactly.
That shows the other thing. Like, I'm glad I've had all these different types of jobs. Well, I know it's like, okay, restaurant business fucking sucks right now for COVID. Just instated the new curfew from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Doesn't really affect my new bartending gig all that much, you know what I mean? But if you're working at a dive bar, you're basically screwed. That's prime time for you. And even more businesses are going to close down now. But I'm not afraid to go do landscaping or go back to a fucking warehouse if I really need to do some physical labor shit. But some people if you only drove semi-trucks your whole 20, 30 years of your life, and now they have AI semi-truck drivers, and you're going to expect some of these people to adapt?
Yeah,
it's tough to.
You have to. You have to transition into a new marketplace, and you start looking at how is this going to change the business culture of restaurants with COVID, right? Now, I mean, if you have a brick and mortar building, then that's all you have, and you're expecting guests to fill up your establishment in order to make a profit, you're going to lose your business because you can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. And you can't say, okay, well, after COVID's done, people are going to go back to their lives the normal way. It's not going to happen because the way the government and everything is setting it up is that this is going to change our lives forever. You know what I'm saying? They've already been saying it on TV.
Oh.
So you have to adapt and change.
Yeah.
To the current trends.
Oh, I think after this, everyone is going to need to have some sort of basic understanding with computers, and any smart business owner is going to want to have some sort of an online presence. I think it's kind of pushing everyone towards more the technology side and more having the computers and machines do shit for us than it is, and it's going to take away a lot of the physical labor gigs are going to die. I think this is going to push people more towards that. But
yeah, I think the mundane jobs for sure. I mean, the technical stuff like plumbers and electricians, I think, are safe for a while.
That'll be good.
Until they invent a completely automated robot that can walk around and do stuff, like that and think on their own. But yeah, you're right, man. I think that online, or if you're a restaurant, right? Like those little Asian takeout places are probably just making bank right now.
Oh, dude, there's this one. Yeah.
So why not just open up if you're really set on opening up a restaurant and it's your heart's desire. Don't even bother buying a big building. Buy a little crap hole place in the side of a strip mall, and then sell it to your local area.
Dude, the place Washington Square where I'm working at right now, they have 5 fucking tablets of like DoorDash, Uber Eats, of all these like app companies that are running around picking up shit. I was laughing because like any like homeless person or anyone who's just hungry could just walk in there and take food for free because they just set to goes on this bench and they put your name on it and it's already been paid for. And legit people just walk in, they look it up and grab things and pick them out. Like
that's hilarious. Yeah, Chipotle does something like that.
Yeah, so does Noodles and Company. I don't know.
Yeah, it's putting a lot of trust in people.
Yeah, it is what it is. But we're almost an hour in here, so let's kind of wrap things up in this last 15, 20 minutes here. We talked about your business experience, which you have a lot. I'm the newbie at Ground Zero, but we're introducing later on, early next year, we should have some merchandise called FooFit.
Yeah.
Yes.
FooFit. Yeah. It's kind of the whole point of this conversation.
Yeah. First of all, before that, I want to talk about how much of a pain it is the ass to just decide on a name when you're making a company that's not already taken by now. Yeah. So how many did we go through? We went like through Foo Life. We probably went through 10 or 20 names and we would look them all up. Names that you wouldn't even think that would be taken, they were taken already.
Well, I'm going to say it because we have a few other websites, you know, and I've spent probably 40 to 60 hours total just on the other three websites. Yeah. I got so tired. I spent 3 days straight, 8 hours in front of a computer looking at names, trying to like find names and come up with names and like draw maps of names and putting two words together and using.
It's so hard. It's like you want something original, something kind of catchy, but something that also fits your brand and what you're trying to represent.
Yeah,
it's fun though. At the same time, when we were thinking of those names, it was almost like when I was first thinking about this podcast and my YouTube channel. Okay, what am I going to call it? How am I going to represent this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's another thing building it from the ground up. It's just, I don't know, something that's really fun about that.
It is. It's creative, man. Yeah. It's an expression of you and you can, be how you want to be with it, Mm-hmm. Do you want a fun brand or do you want like a serious one?
Right.
Or, yeah.
Are we going brand we just fucking shit up at?
Yeah. That's what FooFit is.
Yeah. So FooFit, for everyone listening right now, handful of viewers, thank you very much. You've been hanging out this whole time. Basically, we're going to be starting off with, we're going to have merchandise for just pretty simple water bottles, t-shirts, some gym bags, maybe, depending on what we can get. But
stuff that we use.
Stuff that Jim and I use and stuff that we need in our everyday life. This FooFit website is going to be, finally we're going to get the ball rolling and our kind of like our workout website. We're going to be creating, uploading workouts for you guys. Jim's the meal prep man, the dining. Anyone, if you're 300 pounds right now and you're a fat, lazy piece of shit, we're going to have tons of information for you on there free. This guy fucking did it.
Yeah.
We will have pictures of his old, I got some pictures of you on my computer from when you sent to me.
Oh, yeah, when I was really big?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was almost 300 pounds. I was like 295, 290, something like that. I dropped down to a slim 210.
Yep.
I put some back on now.
But you still look good. You still look bigger.
Yeah. But, I'm at 233. But you think about it, the last 3 years, I've been either injured or like sick or something's happened. So it's been a 3-year learning curve for me to like understand I'm in it for the long haul and not like the instantaneous. I have to go just ape shit every time.
Yeah. That's something I've been learning too. Like I've been working out every day, but I haven't had those intense workouts that we were doing for a while.
No.
It's better to be consistent with it. And I don't max out anymore. I'm not too worried about that. So if you guys are someone who just, you want to get fit, you want to get in shape, you don't want to be some fucking bodybuilder, but you want to get nice, you maybe want to get lean, maybe you're a single dude and you want to get back out in the dating scene, you're not very happy with your physical appearance. Because you need to be happy like with your physical appearance. I've learned to just have some good confidence and radiate that sort of energy about you. Whether you're talking to a girl or you're going through an interview at a job. When I was in treatment, my old manager always used to say, you look good, you feel good. So we're going to help you. We want to help you look good and feel good.
Yeah,
with the FooFit brand.
Yeah, and it's about a lifestyle change, and I think that it's about functional conditioning, Like, let's face it, you need to know how to punch somebody in the face.
Yeah.
You need to know how to kick somebody. You need to know how to defend yourself. You need to know how to be able to, like, run away. Like, let's face it, if something were to happen, the average person should be able to run for anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes and not stop.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not talking about sprinting. I'm talking about running away.
The average person should be able to do that. I would say the average person can probably run like 5 minutes right now.
Of course,
depending what the age group, I guess we're looking at too. That matters a lot.
Dude, I'm in my 40s and I can run an hour. True. You know, but I'm not breaking speed records. I'm doing, you know, and you think about it, a 10-minute mile, that's 6 miles.
Yeah.
You know, at a constant pace, right? And let's face it, I mean, if shit's going down and I need to get the hell out of here, I have the ability of like putting on my shoes and just taking a nice steady jog for at least 6 miles out of town. So I think that when you look at that, yeah, like what's wrong with a 30-minute run?
Yeah.
You know?
Nothing. Running's the worst thing. Everyone hates, like, I feel like a majority of people hate running. If you're like one of those people who runs like ultra marathons, you're probably just fucking psycho or sociopath. I don't know how you run it, but everyone needs to run and get your heart rate up and get that sweat going. Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, you know, a little too much of anything is bad.
And I think and like there's something. I think the most important thing about running is your mental battle that you have, because it's different when you're in the weight room. Like, sure, you like when I'm trying to max out and visualize myself like lifting weights, lifting weights is different. It's like it's either going up or it's not, right? You're either strong enough to lift it or you're not gonna set it back down. You know what I mean? And you're gonna work to get up to the next one. Now with running, fuck, dude, I could run an hour too, but I want to stop after the first 2 minutes. My mind tells me this sucks. We want to be done.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. Like a lot of times when I'm running, I don't even like remember what I'm doing.
Oh, I zone out. The runner's high is a real thing, but it takes a little bit to get there. You know what I mean? For me, I always say the first mile and the last mile are usually the toughest. First mile takes me a little bit. You gotta get going. You know what I mean? You gotta get your blood flowing. Especially when you start off cold and you're like mentally you're not there yet. Yeah. Once you kind of get in your zone, you get your breathing pattern down. Your whole body's in fucking sync. You're not even thinking when you're running, dude. Like you said, you zone out. Dude, you almost fucking run into people like walking down the street and shit.
Yeah, like, I've actually done that. Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah, and trample people over. So I want to help you guys get to that, you know, state of mind when you're out here running, you're out here doing these workouts. Jim's more of the combat guy, but want to create this consistency in workouts and be persistent with it too at the same time. Yeah,
I think that's the goal, you know. You know, it's a lifestyle, so I'm doing it anyway. I might as well share it, right? Yeah. You know?
And it's there's so many other kind of like workout plans out there, but we're just two nobodies, you know what I mean? But we're nobodies that know what we're fucking talking about. At least I've been after it for a while now. Yeah, well, you've had more of a transformation than anyone I've ever known.
Well, you know how to get 6-pack abs. Yep. I am still waiting to do that, but I'm figuring that one out myself.
White Claws. I'm gonna say this right now. Switch to the seltzers from regular beer. That's step one.
I don't know, man. Like I'm looking at, I've been, you drink 6 of anything and you're putting on weight. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah. But you can cut corners where you can though.
You can.
Because I want this program to be where it's like, okay, depending where you're at, right? So say if you are that 300-pound guy on Jim's level, yeah, you're going to want to go to the extreme and cut out like alcohol and sugars and be on that strict diet for a while, you know? But if you're someone who's just, you know, a little pudgy, you like going out on weekends, but you're starting to get to that age now where, you know, you can't get away with getting wasted on Saturday night and then laying around all day on Sunday and eating pizza, you know what I mean, while you're watching the Vikings game. Because now that weight's starting to stick onto you.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Like, you know, like, yeah, I look at a pizza and, you know what I mean, I'm gaining weight. Yeah. You know, like, it sucks.
And that shows the different types of body types you and I have as well.
Yeah, and that's really what it's about, man, is knowing your body, knowing what your body can and cannot do, and understanding what you need to do. And it doesn't mean you have to, like, hate life, man. You can adapt what you need to adapt it to, you know, and, you know, figure out what works for you, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, let's say I go through 2 months where it's, like, strict. I get down to my 200, and then I allow myself to get up to 215, and I go back down to 200 and go up to 215 or whatever. What's wrong with that?
Right.
You know?
But don't beat yourself up for it. Like, if you end up, like, if you go hard for a couple of weeks, like Jim was saying, and then you take, like, it easy for the next month, That's as long as you're still staying consistent and persistent with it. Yeah. That's what matters.
That's really all that matters, you know? I mean, it's when you start and stop.
Yeah.
And then you try to start like a month later, and then you start lying to yourself.
Yeah, good fucking luck.
But now when you go on this journey, right, especially if you're a large person and you're trying to get smaller, you start to realize it's not just food that's your problem. It's your, like, food is fuel. It's not therapy. Right?
Okay.
So you start looking in the reasons of why you binge eat, and you start looking at the reasons of why you feel the way you feel. And then you have to start telling yourself, well, you know, and this is like the mental game of the transition, right?
Which is the toughest part of it.
It is. Because it means, you either have the choice of, the best thing to do when you go into a transition is to make the commitment to yourself. No matter how many times I fail, I'm going to keep doing it. Yeah. And that's okay, because I failed. I mean, how many times have I eaten an entire pizza? Yeah. You know, and drank, you know what I mean? Because I had a moment of weakness. But the next day with a hangover, I'm out there doing a 10-minute run. Yeah. You know?
Punish yourself for it.
Maybe, yeah. Sometimes I punish myself for it. Sometimes I wait until 5 at night, just as long as I do it in that day, like I said I was going to. Yeah. You know, but if I, you know, and if I make excuses for myself and say, well, I couldn't do it because of this, you know, then you start to lose that battle. And then what are you even in it for anymore, right? So you have to draw that line in the sand and then stick to it. And then over time, those things where if food was your therapy, as you slowly beat it and get through these things, you start to find your real reality of why you do it, and you can change that belief system.
The gym will be your therapy now. Here's a quote that I've written down that I like using. Your excuses will always outnumber your reasons, but your reasons will outweigh your excuses. Because when that alarm clock goes off in the morning, you're going to think of every single way you can justify why you don't need to work out that day. Oh, I worked overtime last night. Oh, I've been hitting it, you know, however many days. It doesn't fucking matter. But that one reason may just be like, I hate the way I look and I want to do something about it. Yeah. All you just need, it doesn't matter how many fucking excuses you have. You just need one reason to get out of bed. I never want to fucking work out, dude. I really don't. Like, there's probably maybe like one day out of the week where I actually want to do it. And I know I've said it before, and like everyone says that, right? When I listen to like other, like, you know, bodybuilders or, you know, workout enthusiast guys, they all say the same shit. So yeah, it's cliche, but it's true though too at the same time, you know? So just know that you're not alone when you wake up and you don't want to fucking work out. Like the dude who's fucking under 5% body fat with a 6-pack, he woke up, he doesn't want to work out either. The difference is he still does it anyway and you don't.
Yeah, I would have to say in the best way to start off with, like, and if you're not like you're not doing a program or anything, is to wake up and the first hour of your day, you do whatever you want to do. And then the second hour of your day, you work out. Yeah. Or whatever it is, right? So then it's that motivation to get up early, to have that individual time to do what you want to do. And then as long as you keep the commitment on the second thing is, I did all the things for me that satisfy me. Now it's time for me to go hit the gym and then get my work done, right? Wake up, get the gym done, and then go to your job. Yeah. Now that means you're going to have to get up 2 hours early. Right. That's a price you have to pay for that.
And and that comes down, like, how bad do you want it? You know what I mean? If you want it bad enough, you'll find time. If you're a parent, you know, maybe you got a kid out there and you can't work out in the evenings and your only option is waking up at 3-4 in the morning, you have to find the mental strength to fucking do it.
Yeah. Like, well, this job that we're doing, this business that we're going into, I woke up today at 5 a.m. and now tomorrow I'm going to begin waking up at 4. So that when I wake up, my workout's done. And then I'm devoting a solid 3 to 4 hours specifically on the business every day, 5 days a week minimum. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like getting up at that 3-4 a.m. thing is now what I'm going to be personally doing to ensure success of whatever it is I'm doing, you know, because I mean, let's face it, you can't get up at 7, 8, 9 in the morning and expect a positive result.
Right. When you're adding all this whole new shit, man. Like,
yeah. Other people are already out there awake, already getting at it and getting it done. And if you wake up late, you're behind. Right. You know, so
already. Think of what your competition's doing. Yeah. You know. Right.
You know, especially if you're like in business or whatever, right?
Fuck, dude.
Now, I mean, Pete, you can be doing this stuff for any reason that you want to do it for. Physical activity just teaches you the necessary traits and the things that you need to do in order to achieve a given result, right? So if I have to be at work at 6 a.m. and I also want to go to the gym and I know I'm too tired if I'm after work, get up at 4, go to the gym when you're bright and early, then hit your work by 6, then come home and go to bed early, right? You know?
And I always had a better day when I worked out beforehand. It sucks getting up, but you'll feel good about it and you'll have a better day at work afterhand.
Yeah.
You got your blood flowing, you know what I mean? And you're ready to kind of just relax. You got your physical gains. Now you're ready to kind of get your mental. Hit the books if you're in school. Hit the stock market in your business. You know what I mean? See where your numbers are going.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, what you put into it's what you're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
You know, you half-assed it, you're going to get half-assed results. That's why I go all in everything I can possibly
always go full ass on it. Yeah. You don't sit on the toilet with a half ass. Yeah. You have your full ass in there and you're shitting on everything, dude.
Yep.
Shit on things with a full ass. Right, man. Wrap it up at that.
Let's do that.
Let's do it. So everyone, thank you again for watching. Probably had around like 6 to 10 people that whole time.
Nice.
So we appreciate all you guys. I'll be having more of the social media links once we get Foo Fit up and running this site. So if you guys all want to go and follow that one again up, we'd greatly appreciate it. And stay tuned for more. Jim, I'll be here. You'll be here Friday, but we'll try to schedule something with you soon.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Get you back on here.
Yeah,
I miss talking to you.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've done a pod in a while. I've seen you, but it's the first time we've sat down and chatted over the pod.
Well, dude, we got a lot of stuff going on.
I miss talking with you. Yeah.
Well, you know, and I'll be honest with you, I'm unemployed and I'm trying to figure out like the next phase of life, right? You know, like how am I going to make money? How am I going to survive? How am I going to pay bills? All this shit. And now it's all starting to like make sense a little bit more.
Together now.
It's coming together.
Yeah.
And with concrete evidence of knowing where you're going to go comes a schedule in which you can adhere to and adapt to. So I think that that's going to be a definite positive thing in the future here. And yeah, we'll definitely be around more often.
Absolutely. Good to hear. I didn't choose the Doug life. The Doug life chose me. Peace.